We got it. Hi, everyone. So we are here today on October 30th, 2024 for a workshop, The Power of Suggestion, Exploring Hypnosis Basics. This is being recorded. So when I was 20 years old, I went to a bar and I raised my hand to go up on stage to participate with the hypnotist who was asking for volunteers. So, of course, many of you know me from different areas of my life. I'm not shy. I wasn't shy back then. So, of course, I raised my hand. I thought hypnosis, wow, how cool is that? So there I go up on the stage. And one of the first things he asked us to do after we were in trance was to hold out our finger like a bird perch, which we all did. There was, I think, if memory serves me, maybe 8 to 10 of us on the stage. And he said, now imagine a cute little bird on your finger. Oh, and it was so cute. It was the cutest little bird, like a little finch. And then after we were all loving our little bird, he says, now imagine the bird is going to the bathroom. And he did not use a nice word for that, but I'm not going to say that on my recording. Going to the bathroom on your finger. Everyone gets grossed out. Now shake it off. So there we were, all of us on the stage, trying as hard as we could to shake this damn bird who's going to the bathroom off our finger, and it wouldn't come off until he said, stop. All of a sudden, the bird was gone. That was my introduction to hypnosis. As you can imagine, the audience roared with laughter. We were up in that stage for 45 minutes. The show went on and on. I tell more about the story in my book, Show Up for Yourself. For those of you who've read it, you're like, oh, I've heard this story from Janet already, but it was still my first hypnosis experience. I thought it was so cool. I didn't understand what happened, why it happened, why I didn't remember, how he woke us up. And it was all just quite fascinating to me. But I went on with my life and I didn't really think about it again. So today we're going to explore what hypnosis is, why it works, and debunk the myths that surround hypnosis, because so many people think I'm going to take a pendulum and put it in front of your eyes and you're going to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Now I have a pendulum. I've never, ever, ever used my pendulum to put someone in hypnosis. That is not the purpose of my pendulum. We need to debunk the myths because really, hypnosis is a very powerful tool to help people heal. So what I'd love for all of you to do in the chat is A, share where you're joining from, and B, share if you've ever had a hypnosis experience before, and just was it a good experience or a bad experience? For those of you who've never met me before, I'm Janet Philbin. I'm a clinical social worker in New York. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, a certified conscious parenting coach, and I'm also a Reiki master. So I take all of my varied experiences and I combine them into the work that I do with my clients, which is actually very eclectic. So we have people here from all over the place, New Jersey, Oregon, India, um, where else? California, Long Island, New Jersey, France. Awesome. I love it. Look at this. What an international group. Pittsburgh, South Boston. Yeah, you, Jillian, watched a hypnosis, New York, Arizona. Yeah, so some of you have experienced hypnosis and some of you haven't. And I'd imagine everyone had very personal and different experiences with it, which is what I would expect, Boca Raton and Mexico. So welcome, Viri. I know you just got here. I was just saying to everyone, just have a pencil and paper with you because we are going to do a hypnosis experience later. And I want you to be able to capture your experience after we're done. So everyone is going to have their own experience in hypnosis, even though I may use the same process, say with Drew and with Jillian and with Stephanie. All three of you will experience it differently because it's personal to you and it's about the way your mind is working and processing things. So what is hypnosis anyway? Basically, it's an altered state of consciousness. Now, meditation is an altered state of consciousness. Many of you here, I know, are meditators. So what makes hypnosis different? I'm going to tell you. First, I want to read you this definition, which is my favorite definition of hypnosis. So forgive me while I read it from the paper because I don't like to misquote people. This is from A.M. Krasner, who wrote a book called The Wizard Within. And he says hypnosis is a process which produces relaxation, distraction of the conscious mind, heightened suggestibility, and increased awareness, allowing access to the subconscious mind through the imagination. It also produces the ability to experience thoughts and images as real. That's key, and we're going to get into why. And in order for hypnosis to be effective, we have to have two components: belief and expectation. So you need to believe hypnosis is going to work for me, and you have to have the expectation hypnosis is going to work for me. If you don't believe it, not going to work. If you don't expect it, not going to work. So the deeper mind or unconscious, I tend to use the two terms interchangeably. So if you hear me say deeper mind, it means unconscious. If you hear me say unconscious, it means deeper mind. I just think that when people hear the word unconscious, it kind of like is, ooh, what's that? And I think deeper mind is a lot more acceptable to the unconscious mind and our conscious mind. So I tend to say deeper mind. So the deeper mind cannot differentiate between real and imagined. And so hypnosis is so effective because it produces the ability to experience thoughts and images as real, which is what happens when we're in the movies, right? For anyone I always pick Star Wars because it's so vivid and big and bright. You don't know that you're not in that fighter jet, or you're not like hanging out with R2-D2 or C-3PO. And then when you walk outside and it's the middle of the day and the sun is out, you're like, what the heck just happened? Because the unconscious mind didn't know you weren't there in the galaxy. So when you walk outside and it's daytime and you're in your town, it's a little disorienting because the unconscious mind, when you're in a movie, is in charge because the unconscious mind does not know real from imagined. The other reason why hypnosis is effective and powerful is all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So what that means is no one can hypnotize you if you don't want to be hypnotized. If someone says to me, "Come on, Janet, you can't hypnotize me. Go ahead, prove it." I'll be like, yeah, no, thanks. Not doing it. Why would I do that? To prove to you that your mind is stronger than me? I know your mind is stronger than me. I don't need to prove that to me or to you. There's no purpose in that. Nothing good is going to come out of that. So in order to understand the unconscious mind better, I want you to think about a computer. And, all computers have hard drives, and everything we save in a computer gets saved on the hard drive. So every experience we've ever had in our life, whether we remember it or not, is saved in the unconscious mind. It's kind of like the hard drive. To find things on the computer, you have to put in the right search word. So if I have a file on dogs in my computer and I put in the word cat, I'm not going to find the dog file. I'm going to probably get nothing if I have no cats. So the same thing for hypnosis. If I want to go back to an event when someone fell off their swing set at 5 and no caregiver was around to give them a Band-Aid, and I say, okay, let's go back to the time on the monkey bars, we're not going to the right event. The computer in our mind, the unconscious mind, is going to sift through all its files and be like, nothing there. So you have to give the unconscious mind the right prompt. That is super important, or you're not going to get there. And that's why hypnosis is so effective clinically, because when you're working with a client and you know the issue they're working on, the block they want to unearth, the emotional pain they're looking to get relief from, and you have the words, their words, you can go back there and you will find it. You may find it in one shot. It may take 3 or 4 times to get to the very bottom, but you will find it. That I can tell you, after 23 years, you will get there. So hypnosis, as I've been saying, is very effective. It's very effective for emotional healing. Again, as I've said, because the unconscious mind can't tell real from imagined. And here's the other kicker. The unconscious mind has no sense of time. And it takes everything literally. So that's why post-hypnotic suggestions work so well and why they're so powerful. When we put them in place, the unconscious mind hears it and goes, check. All right, I can do that. Check. I can do that. It just takes it in literally. So most of us, if not all of us, know what it's like to be triggered, right? You can like nod your head. Yeah, everyone knows what it's like to be triggered, right? We all get triggered. And why do we get triggered? And why do we react? Because something in the present moment is awakening, I like to say poking, something from the past. All of our triggers lie within. It has nothing to do with what I'm looking at on the outside, only with my past experience. That's why Tina and I could be at the same scene of a car accident, and she sees it and she goes, it's a fender bender. And she walks away and I see it and I'm hysterical. No, look at the car, the blood, the this, the that. And she's like, Janet, it's nothing. Maybe I had a bad traumatic car accident in my life, and this was the first time she ever saw an accident. So it didn't awaken anything within her, but within me, I was in total trauma response. So when we get that pain point woken up, and that pain point is something that happened when we were young, say 7, the unconscious mind goes, oh, I know that. I know how to do that. I'm going to have a temper tantrum, because that's how I dealt with this feeling, this emotion when I was 7. So our adult self starts having an adult version of a temper tantrum. Now, I don't know about you. I definitely don't want my 7-year-old running my 57-year-old life. I've done that. I've been there. I can tell you 100% it does not work. It's not effective. It wrecks relationships, relationship with myself and relationship with people in my life. So with hypnosis, we can go back to that younger version of ourselves, to the origin of the emotional wound, and heal at that point in time and put new coping skills in place. And that's what is so beautiful and amazing about this. After 23 years of practicing hypnosis, every single hypnosis session, I'm still floored. I'm like, oh my God, it really works. It really works. I had a client last week, first time I was working with her, and we're dealing with some current life stressors. And as I'm working with her, she was sitting up on her couch. She put her head down in her arm like this. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? I can't even see her face. What am I going to do? She was so deeply relaxed. Her head was down. So I gave her the instruction. She's going to be able to come up just a little bit, sit back and recline on her couch. She turned her whole body around, laid sideways, never came out of hypnosis. She was so deeply relaxed. And then I was able to keep working with her. So it's amazingly powerful. The unconscious mind, as much as I know there's still so much to know, but you can learn how to work with someone within their unconscious. So why is it so effective anyway? Because in an altered state, suggestions are acted upon much more powerfully. Why? They go directly into the deeper mind. We are taking the unconscious mind, we're saying, sit over here, and we are talking directly to the unconscious. It's direct communication. Hypnosis allows people to use more of their own potential. It's really empowering when you're in someone's unconscious and you're tapping into their innate strengths and abilities, and you tell them, no, these are yours. You get to own this. That is empowering. It's like they're reclaiming gifts they had to bury away a long time ago. And because of that, we can tap into our natural abilities much more easily and much more quickly. In hypnosis, we're in a heightened state of awareness. So though the eyes may be closed, you may have someone in a beautiful, beautiful surrounding, they are acutely aware, hyper-focused, as a matter of fact. So we have these two opposing things happening at once, a deep state of relaxation and very alert and focused. Because conscious mind is over, unconscious mind is front and center, paying attention. And it's a concentrated state of attention. So the focus and the focal point is actually narrower. And that's what creates that heightened state of awareness. Hypnosis is safe and natural. All of us, every single day, are in and out of hypnosis all the time, just like the example I gave in the movie theater. Or what about if you're reading a book, you get lost in time? Or, oh, I don't know, in this day and age, how many of us are looking at our phone and the person is right next to you talking and you don't even hear them? Guess what? That's hypnosis. You are in a very altered state by our addictive phones. So it's not drug induced. Like a lot of people go on retreats, and I'm not putting down any of these retreats where people go use, psychedelics. People get a lot out of them. I don't know enough about it to even talk about it. But what I do know from people I've worked with who've done that, they go, they do these psychedelic experiences, they remember all this stuff, and they come back re-traumatized because there's no processing. That to me is dangerous. So in hypnosis, we're safe and we're processing. Nothing is left unfinished. Everything is complete at the end of a session. And it allows you access to parts of your mind that are out of our conscious awareness. And that's amazing. So with the conscious mind out of the way, we can actually access and reach memories that we normally can't and make connection. Like, oh, that's why that happened. I always remembered that, but I didn't know it was responsible for this in my life. Some of you here may have had that experience where you had an issue that you thought was connected to one thing, and then in hypnosis, you're like, oh, that's what it was. Happens a lot. It happens more than you think. It's very uncommon for when I'm working with someone to find a forgotten memory. Yes, we do. That does happen, but that's really not the most common thing. It's usually, oh, I always knew that happened, but I didn't really understand that it was from this. That happens, I would say, 75% of the time. So when we're in hypnosis, we're actually receiving communication at every level of consciousness. So our conscious awareness is hearing it, the subconscious awareness is hearing it, and the unconscious awareness is hearing it. So every part is getting the information and integrating it, hearing it, filtering it through its lens. So we kind of have a team approach happening in our brain. And the other really cool thing about why hypnosis is so effective is because of the use of metaphors. And maybe some of you here like using metaphors. So the reason why metaphors work is it because it makes concepts believable or doable. So if I were to say to you, imagine a feather, can all of you imagine what a feather would look like? And now what if I said, imagine that feather is floating on a breeze. Can all of you imagine what a feather floating on a breeze would look like? And what if I said, what if you were as light as a feather? Could you imagine how light a feather would be that was floating on that breeze? So now imagine yourself just drifting and floating as light as that feather. That's totally imaginable, isn't it? And if we can imagine it, since the unconscious mind cannot tell real from imaginary, this must be happening. So if you incorporate metaphors when you're doing hypnotic work with people, that strengthens the positive effect, use them positively only, to help someone reach where they need to reach or heal in a way they need to heal it. It's amazingly powerful. How are we doing with everything I explained so far? Everyone with me? Okay, because I want to get to the myths and then we're going to get to our hypnosis experience. So let's talk about some myths. People will surrender their will or become powerless and lose control under hypnosis. Very untrue. As I said before, your awareness is heightened. And when you're hypnotized, you are in control of yourself. The hypnotist is never in more control than you are. I can share an example. I had another client I was working with over Zoom, and she was in her home and we were doing hypnosis. She was in her recliner chair, reclined back, and she had her phone like kind of next to her on her like side table. And I was able to see the phone. She had a middle school age child. And she's deep in hypnosis. We're deep in the process. We must have already been like 40 minutes in. All of a sudden, the phone must have rang. She sits up, picks up the phone. No, it's not my daughter. And puts her head back down. I couldn't stop her, and it didn't interrupt the session. She was in charge. She chose to check. Why? Because it was very important, if it was the daughter, that she would have needed to take that call, and she would have been able to. Another myth. You're going to tell all of your secrets to me if you're in hypnosis. Not true. Under hypnosis, you will never share anything you don't want to share. I know this from my own personal experience. When I first, after I first learned hypnosis, I then went to the hypnotherapist who trained me for some sessions to deal with my childhood trauma, and he didn't know my big trauma. Very few people did at the time. And I think I must have worked with him for like maybe 5, 6, or 7 sessions before in session I told him what the trauma was. So in hypnosis, I still didn't tell him. It needed to be addressed, but I wasn't ready. So I was working around it. So I still wasn't going to tell what I didn't want to tell. So you will never tell something you don't want to. That the hypnotist has more power over your mind. Again, not true. Why? Because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Just like I said before, if someone challenges me, go ahead, hypnotize me. I dare you. No, thank you. You're in charge of your mind. You have power over your mind, not me. I don't even want it. I don't want power over your mind. That's for you. In hypnosis, clients can be put to sleep. That's another myth. Not true. We are not putting someone into sleep. We are putting them into a deep altered state. Your theta waves like are activated, but you are not asleep. Can someone fall asleep in hypnosis? Absolutely. Have people fallen asleep with me in hypnosis? They have. When I used to see more people in my office, I used to have like a massage table in my office that people would lay on and we would do hypnosis on that. And I had this one patient. He would always doze off, and all of a sudden his breathing was different. He would snore lightly, and I'd have to touch his shoulder and say his first name. Come on, hear my voice. You can hear my voice. Come back a little more, back a little more. Let me know when you're back. Nod your head. And he'd eventually come back. But he would get so deeply relaxed, he would just doze off. We're not doing hypnosis if someone's asleep. There is something called sleep hypnosis. I'm not teaching that today, but just so you know, there is such a thing. But that is not what I do. It's something that you can learn to do, but that's not what I'm doing in a therapeutic session with somebody. Another myth, only the weak-minded or weak-willed will be hypnotized. Again, simply not true. Your mind is very strong. And it's because of your strong mind that you can be hypnotized. Because why? All hypnosis is self-hypnosis, your choice to go into hypnosis. Another myth, in stage hypnosis, people only follow suggestions. Oh, this is not the myth. This is the truth. Sorry. In stage or clinical hypnosis, People only follow suggestions that they are ethically and morally comfortable with, and they will not do things that go against their fundamental belief. Okay. So when I was on that stage, if all of a sudden it would have turned into a striptease act, I never would have done it. I would have come out of hypnosis. I would have walked off the stage. You're not going to do something that is against your morals or ethics in hypnosis. And the final myth I'll mention is that some people will lose consciousness in hypnosis. Again, we are not unconscious. No one has hit you over the head with a hammer and knocked you out. You are in a heightened state of awareness. Unconscious means we are unaware. Think of someone who's unconscious in a hospital. They even say people hear, right? But they can't interact. So that is not what hypnosis is. You are in a heightened state of awareness. So hypnosis really does work beautifully for emotional healing. With hypnosis, we go back to the origin of the emotional wound, heal, and put new coping skills in place so you can do better in your adult life now. Now, you can be a hypnotist and do smoking cessation with people, weight loss with people. I don't like to do that. Why? Because I don't believe in quick fixes. However, there are tons of hypnotists around that will do that. Not my thing. I had a client years ago who came to me. She wanted to lose weight. I guess she had been to a hypnotist many years before, like it was like 8 years. And he helped her to lose weight. He gave her the post-hypnotic suggestion that you will not eat anything that you cannot eat with a knife, fork, or spoon. And she lost weight and kept it off for like 8 years. So she came to me and said, I want that again. And I said, I don't do that. She goes, well, let's see. So she did one session with me, never came back. I'm sure I sucked at it because I don't like to do that. There's no quick fix. If you need to lose weight, why did you gain weight? If you smoke, why did you start smoking? We have to go back to the younger self. That's what I believe. You don't have to believe what I believe. That is fine. I'm not for everybody. Everybody is not for me. I'm very eclectic. I pull in lots of different skills and wear lots of hats. So for some people, I'm just too much. That's okay. Just like, some doctors you go to, you're like, not for me. And others you're like, oh, you're good. Same thing. Any therapist, anybody, right? A lot of you here are coaches or therapists. So you get it. Like not every client that comes to you is going to be the right client for you. It's the same with hypnosis. So questions at all about anything that I just went over before we do our hypnosis experience? Anyone have any questions? Feel free, put it in the chat or raise your hand. No? Okay, so my first question, and just with a nod of your head, and I know I see 3 of you have your screens off. That's okay. Maybe you could just put in the chat. Is everyone who's here with me, do you agree to the hypnosis experience we're going to have today? Yes? Okay. Excellent. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. I would encourage everyone to keep your camera on, even though we're going to have our eyes closed, because as the hypnotherapist, it's important I can check on you. And if you have your screens off, I will have no idea what's going on. Everyone's going to have their eyes closed, so no one's going to be staring at anyone else. And if you're watching this on replay, don't stare at the screen during the hypnosis. Close your eyes. Anita, you're nervous? You've meditated before, Anita. I know that. This is just meditation. And oh, here's the big thing. I didn't tell any of you, like this is a really big thing. There is absolutely nothing you can do wrong. Absolutely nothing. However you experience hypnosis is exactly correct. Whatever I say, another person in the group is going to experience it differently than you. And that's perfectly okay. And as it should be. I don't really know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say what's coming through me for all of you, for this group, because this group is together for a specific reason. And I'm really thrilled everybody's here. And also you're in control. So just like those stories I said, when people like kind of sat up in hypnosis, if you don't like it, sit up and open your eyes. It's not a problem. You're in charge, not me. I won't take it personally. Don't think, oh, I can't open my eyes. I think this sucks, but I don't want to hurt Janet's feelings. Trust me, my feelings won't be hurt. It's really okay. I will close my eyes a lot and I will peek. So we'll be in hypnosis for maybe like 20 minutes because I want to make sure we have time to process, do some Q&A. Like I said at the beginning, I can stay longer if people want to stay longer and ask questions. And I'll stop talking now and we'll get started. So I'm going to invite everyone, sit comfortable wherever you are. It's nice if you can feel your feet on the ground, if you're sitting up, and uncross. Keep both feet on the ground, put both of your hands so they're not crossed. If you're holding on to anything, put it down. If you're more comfortable with glasses off, feel free to take your glasses off. You don't need to see anything with your eyes. So I'm just going to invite everyone with your eyes closed to just focus on your very own breath. So that each time you inhale, your stomach gently rises up. And each time you exhale, your stomach gently falls. And just pay attention to that gentle rise and fall of your stomach with each breath that you take. Breathing in peace and exhaling tension. Breathe in calm, positive thoughts. And as you exhale, let go of anything extra you might have carried in here with you today. This is your time. You have set it aside just for you. And I'm going to invite you now to take a moment and just set an intention for yourself for today, for what you would like to receive for your highest and greatest good. And as you set that intention, just take another breath in. That's right. Relaxing even more. As I invite you to use your imagination, just imagine a beautiful day, a warm day on a day that the temperature is just perfect for you. And on this day, the sun is shining. And you can feel the warmth of the rays of the sun warming you, touching your skin. And that beautiful sun is going to shine down and just touch you on the top of your head. You feel that warmth. You know what it feels like to have the sun touch your head. It feels warm. It may feel comforting to you. And as the sun touches you, all the tension in your head just begins to melt away. Melt away as the sun travels down over your face. The warmth of the sun allowing all the muscles in your face to let go. You might find your eyes close even more comfortably, letting go of tension. Your jaw loosens and your tongue gently rests at the bottom of your mouth. Taking another breath in. That's right. As that beautiful, warm, relaxed feeling now travels down through your neck. You may even feel the need to move your neck and release the tension there. That's right. Just feeling the letting go, the softening. As that light reaches your shoulders soften. It's as if you can breathe in a little more easily now. And with your next breath, allow that light to travel down to the heart area. Right in the center of your chest, that light of the sun warms your heart, warms your chest. And as you inhale, you feel it filling your lungs. Such warmth that you get to receive. As that relaxation travels down your body, down over your diaphragm, through your abdomen, right down to your lower abdomen, about 2 inches below your belly button. Feeling all those internal organs of yours let go. As if that sunlight is offering you a gentle embrace of warmth and support. Take a breath in and allow yourself to feel that. That's right. The warm sunlight travels now over your hips, letting your lower back relax. Any tension in the low back, letting go. With the exhale, as that light travels down over the hips, down through the thighs, down over the knees, to the calves, ankles, feet, and toes. Noticing the connection to the ground beneath you, suspended between the sun and the earth. Safe and comfortable. Take another breath in. Relaxing even more, noticing your eyelids now. Notice, are they more comfortably closed than they were a moment ago? And the more you pay attention to your eyelids, the heavier and heavier they become. In fact, so heavy and comfortably relaxed. Even thinking about trying to open your eyes only allows you to go deeper and deeper into comfort. So go ahead and try to open your eyes. Just try with some amusement and notice the harder you try, the more you don't want to. Going deeper and deeper. Now let those eyelids go. Just relax. The whole body relax now. Take a moment and enjoy this feeling of relaxation. And I'm going to invite you in this beautiful, relaxed place, bathed in sunlight, connected to the earth, to bring to mind a place that is perfectly safe for you. That if you were to go to this place, whether it's a real place or a place in your imagination, you would be perfectly safe and beautifully relaxed. And when you can imagine being at this place, just nod your head. That's right. Very good. Take in all the details of this place. Are you outside or inside? What are the colors? What can you see? What's in the environment? What can you hear? Take a good look around and notice right there waiting for you is a comfortable spot to sit down. Imagine walking over to that spot. And as you sit, take another breath in, relaxing even more deeply as you sit down, feeling as if you've been welcomed home. Here in this space, your very safe space, you are okay, balanced, and clear. Here from this space, you know that you are in charge of your life, of your decisions, of who you are and who you want to be. You are in charge of your own healing. Here in this space, you are love. You are loved. Feel how good it feels to be here. And I'm going to invite you to call to mind a situation in your life that has happened within the last few days or a week that you found upsetting, not horribly upsetting, something like on a scale of 3 or 4, just something mildly upsetting within the last few days to a week. And when you can recall that event, again, just gently nod your head. Good. And just observe the event. We're not reliving it. Just observe it as if you were watching the movie of it. What was going on? Who were you with? What part of you was triggered, was woken up, was poked in this upsetting event? When you have all the details of that event, again, nod your head. Very good. Now I want you to invite that version of yourself, the one that was mildly upset the other day, to your safe space with you. All of a sudden, another chair is there. And have that version of yourself just come sit next to you. And as he or she are there, again, just nod your head. That's right. Very good. Now, with the wisdom of yourself, of your adult self that came to that safe space, I want you to speak to this one who was upset just a few days ago and let them know, I am with you. Your feelings are valid. Yes, something upsetting was woken up within you. And you have me with you to help you through it. Let that one from a few days ago share what they need to share with you. Have a conversation, and I will return to you in a moment. And when they're done sharing, again, gently nod your head. Good. Now I want you to imagine your heart, your beautiful adult loving heart can act like a beautiful spotlight of unconditional love. And I want you to imagine shining your heart spotlight right out to the heart of your hurting self. And let that one receive the love. Take a breath in, let them feel it. Because they are worthy and deserving of it. That's right. And let them know you are with them. You will be with them from here on out. And if anything upsetting like this happens in the future, all they need to do is call upon you. And the adult self, with all the wisdom, with all the love, with all the safety, is going to be there to support them through it. Notice how that one who was hurting is responding. They're responding positively, openly, almost like a relief. Wow, I'm supported and loved. Imagine giving that one a hug, a great big giant hug. And once they can receive that hug, again, just nod your head. Very good, that's right. And tell them you are worthy, you are loved, you are safe, you are heard, you are seen, you are whole. And repeat to yourself, I am loved, I am safe, I am worthy, I am whole, I am loved, I am important, my feelings are valid, I am all I need to be, I am so proud of myself, I am knowing that the next time there is upset, you will be able to successfully and easily take care of your emotions, come back into balance, and feel safe, whole, loved, worthy, seen, important. And you are loved. Take another breath in. Feel your heart fill. Feel that embrace. Feel the support. And feel very proud of yourself for all you've accomplished today, knowing that this safe space lies within you and you can come back here anytime you wish, just by simply closing your eyes, taking a few breaths and imagining it. I'm very proud of you. You did a fantastic job today. And in a moment, I will count back from 5 to 1. And when I reach the number 1, you'll be awake and alert, whole and integrated, knowing a healing has taken place today at a cellular level. Feeling really good, strong, empowered, confident, and clear-minded as we come back. So 5, take a breath in. 4, gently begin to breathe into your body now. 3, fingers, toes, arms, and legs, all beginning to wake up, beginning to move around, your awareness back in the room that you're in, the chair you're sitting in. 2, coming back more and more. And 1, you can open your eyes whenever you're ready. Welcome back. Glad to have everyone back. If you want to take a few minutes and just jot down anything from that experience, that's fine. You can do that. We'll take a few minutes for questions if anyone has any, and I have a few more little things to share with you, but hopefully everyone had a good experience. Good. Very good. Any questions? Anyone want to just share thoughts about the experience? Don't have time to hear from everybody, but I would love to hear from a few of you. Yes, go ahead. Who's raising their hand there? Ava. Yes, please. You can unmute.
Hi, Janet. Thank you so
Hi.
much. So
Welcome.
powerful. I know that I didn't completely let go because there was hesitation uh, in the beginning. Um, when you said, see if you can open your eyelids, they immediately were opening up, but it was still a very powerful experience. So just, I know you said belief and expectation, and I know that there was a certain amount of resistance or fear coming into it. How would you suggest someone who's very intrigued by the process? How do I like build up to the point where I can experience it more powerfully?
Mhm. Well, it sounds like you did experience it really well. And I love the fact that you opened your eyes because you needed to know I'm in control. And you were. So that's actually perfect. That's great. It's just as great as someone who didn't open their eyes. They needed to say, no, this is, I'm deep. This is good. So, this is a unique experience. We're doing it on a screen with 22 people, right? So you're going to be a little bit self-conscious maybe. And hypnosis is something that has to be learned. We're so cut off from our mind and body that hypnosis helps bring the two together, even for someone who's an experienced meditator. So it's really practice and learning, and just the willingness to do it is really the place to start. So good for you, and thank you for sharing, because that takes a lot of courage. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie says in the chat, thank you, Janet. I felt that deep trance, almost a subtle jolt upon opening eyes. Yeah, it's like, whoa, I'm back. I totally get that. Anyone else want to share? Maybe one more person? Anyone? No? No? Yes? No? Okay. No forcing here. Oh, okay, Tina, because I don't want to volunteer anybody. So go ahead, Tina.
I think I'm just alerting you that Restituto had her hand.
Zuma. Sorry. Thank you, Tina. I didn't see you raising your hand, Zuma. You're up
I,
in my corner, all the way up in the corner. I didn't see you.
I couldn't find my little electronic hand, so I started waving. Um, that was one of the expectations that I brought in the beginning for myself was to feel relaxed. I
Mhm,
walked in here, my neck, I could barely move my neck, and I feel rested. I feel like I took a 30-minute nap.
mhm,
And one of the expectations and goals was to feel alert. And I'm actually experiencing that's the different sense of alertness. I'm like awake.
mhm.
So that's pretty amazing.
Good
So
for
thank
you.
you. That was a great experience.
You're welcome,
Thank
Zuma.
you.
I'm glad you were here. Yeah, that's another one of the presuppositions of the unconscious mind is it has no sense of time, right? So 5 minutes can feel like 20 minutes, or an hour could be like, well, that was an hour. I thought it was 10 minutes. So there's this altered sense of time. I'm really proud of everyone today. I wanted to share as well that for those of you who don't know, I also, along with my two colleagues, have a not-for-profit, and we certify people to become certified hypnotherapists through the American Board of Hypnotherapy. And our next cohort starts January 31st. It's a 100-hour training program. where by the time you are done, you will be a certified hypnotherapist, able to conduct a complete hypnosis session, beginning to end, and do the healing work that I do with people. Now, people say, oh, well, will I do it like you? No, of course you won't do it like me. You're not me. You're going to do it like you. But you will have all of the tools. You will have all of the knowledge. You will have all of the foundations about hypnosis, and you will have the skills and a very detailed path to follow through a session to get from the beginning to the end. And of course, the meat of the session is going to be different for each person, but the guidelines of the session are the same. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'd always be happy to get on an individual phone call with anyone. I will send the information about the course out to everyone with the email. That's going to have the recording link. Everyone's going, excuse me, to get the recording. You'll have it available for 30 days. I'm going to post it on my YouTube, and the link will be private just for those of you who signed up for the class, so you can go back and listen to it as often as you like. Was there anything else I need to talk about? Let me see. Any other questions? I can stay a few more minutes. I'm happy to take questions. I understand if people also have to leave.
I
So
have a
that's
quick question for you.
I can't
It's
see.
Tamara.
Oh,
right here.
Tamara, sorry. I'm like, there's so many screens. I'm like, who's talking? Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering, I realized that I was jolting a lot throughout the session.
Mhm.
It felt like as if I fell asleep and but I didn't, like I was fully aware. What does that mean?
Right. So you weren't asleep. You were in a deeply altered state. And can we get close to sleep and come back? Absolutely. My voice acts as an anchor, so it keeps you here. You were in a very deep altered state of consciousness. If you actually fall asleep, like say you're listening to a hypnosis recording, and you knew it was a 20-minute recording, and you open your eyes and it's an hour and 20 minutes later, you fell asleep. But if you're listening to someone do hypnosis and they count you back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you open your eyes, you were not asleep. You heard everything. You were in a deeply altered state. So that's all it means, is you were really in a deep altered state. I've had that exact experience where you're like, oh, right. And you feel like I'm about to fall asleep, but you're not. You're just so deep. So you did really, really well.
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate
good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Jillian asked if I could talk about the similarities and difference with IFS. IFS is something called internal family systems, where it's a very specific type of psychotherapy where you work with different parts of the self, parts that are known, parts that are unknown. The parts have names. It is done in an awake state, not in a trance. In hypnosis, if you did the training with me, we teach something called parts therapy, which is not IFS, but what we do is we teach you in hypnosis how to work with the varying parts of people to help the parts work together, or give a part a new job that's going to be effective and helpful as opposed to destructive and maybe sabotagey. So it can feel similar, and there are similarities, but they're not at all the same, because hypnosis is not IFS, but if you're doing parts therapy, pieces of that can feel similar for sure. I've had therapists, social workers who are IFS trained, who really liked the hypnosis training because it gave them a different feel for parts, and to not have to think about it as the very delineated, is that the right word? Roles that in parts therapy, those parts have names. I can't think of them right now because my brain's not there. All those different roles. Frazine shared, I hope that helped, Jillian. Frazine shared, that was amazing. I felt some tingling throughout my body and lightness, like floating. Love the feeling. She had to go. All right, Frazine, thank you. I'm glad. And that tingling too, that's very common in hypnosis. Sometimes people feel like they're spinning, which can be off-putting, especially if you're a motion sick person like me. But that feeling in the body lets you know something is happening, right? You're actually having a felt experience, which is beautiful. And sometimes, depending on what the feeling is, it indicates there's actually a release of stored emotions or pain. So I love it, actually. And when I'm working with people and we're talking in hypnosis, because you will talk to me in hypnosis, I want to know what's going on in the physical body. That's really key, because every emotion is stored in the cells of our body. And in the way we teach you to become a hypnotherapist, we teach you how to work with the client's chakras and release that stored pain, energy from the cellular memory. It's very powerful for anyone who's experienced that. Yeah. Any other questions, concerns, anything at all? I'm happy to answer. I really appreciate everyone's interest and curiosity in being here. Hypnosis is so much fun. It really is so much fun. I don't make people quack like chickens or ducks or whatever they do. I've never done that. But you can learn to teach people to levitate their arms, to clasp their finger closed so tight that they can't open them. It can be a lot of fun too. Cute little party tricks. Things I've done with my nephews when they were littler that they just thought was like the best thing. The deeper mind is so incredibly powerful. Yeah. All right. Well, I want to stick to time. It's 5 minutes after. So, you're welcome, Jillian. I'm going to sign off. You're welcome, Jay. Thanks for coming. You'll get the recording, Jay, so you can watch the first half, and everyone will get the recording. Reach out with any questions. I will send you the information on the training in case you have questions about that. And oh, you're welcome. And I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here with me. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
darling.
Bye, everyone.